Hey everybody, this is Carl back again for another TV show spoiler review. I wanted to do this yesterday, but something wrong with like lagging situation with Streamlabs. Hopefully everything's all right. I just recently posted some other reviews that's up on the channel. Encino Man, I just reviewed. My review of Mortal Kombat 1 game, my thoughts on that, and so another thing I'm blanking on it, but like it's all posted up on the channel. So in case and Chaotic Lore video, so it's all posted on the channel. So if you want to go ahead and check it out. Also, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with your friends, follow me in links in the description below. Zexal. Just season 1. After this, I'm going to be starting to do my holiday reviews, Halloween, some Thanksgiving stuff, and Christmas stuff. Chair. Nothing want to be right. But by the new year, I'll get back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 2 of Zexal, then 3, moving on to Arc 5, and then all the way to Vrains. Then I'll get into some other TV show reviews. Anyway, I want to get this out the way because I'm going to bring this up when I get to Arc 5. As I stated, in many other occasions, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, GX and 5Ds are probably like the best of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, in my opinion. Because Zexal in Arc 5, I can't speak on Vrains because I haven't seen Vrains yet. But from what it looks from Vrains, it seems like from Zexal onto Vrains, it looks like I'm not sure if somebody else at the helm, but they try to. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Began to turn into a parody of themselves, and not to say like it's some kind of grounded realism or something like that, but it's just there are certain levels that you bought with what the franchise was selling. Sure, you got, there's some mysticism with like the Millennium Puzzles, or with the Shadow Riders, or the 5 Signers. There's some degree of like, because like you got the Egyptian stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, where you can hang your hat on. It's like, I can, you found some kind of grounded thing that you can hang your hat on and say, okay, I can, there's an anchor and all the little, mysticism, sci-fi, so I can like, buy because it comes from this root. Same thing with 5 Signers, and you got like the dark signs with, the Incan, like, Nazca line things that's rooted in something, and you based off the mysticism from that. It's just, but even with like GX, you got aliens, and it's like, okay, people buy the fact that there's other alien life forms outside our galaxy, so it isn't too far-fetched. You can buy it. But Zexal Arc 5 it's not like you can't, it's just they lean too far into the goofiness. Not that there's any goofiness in the other 3, but it was like manageable. Not everybody was doing. I mean, look at the characters from Zexal, like Flip or Bronk or even Yuya. These goofy hairs, the hairstyles they have, and like this dude with a Flip with his cartoony outfit he's got on, like, the dopey Mickey Mouse shoes and the goofy normal big bow tie. I mean, it's just like I. It's just like, what are we doing? And it's like it only gets, you know, progressively more annoying. I want to say worse. I don't want to use that word, but it gets a little. Maybe I'm just a purist when it comes to the franchise, but this whole thing, you know, with the design of these characters, seems like they just get more outrageous unnecessarily. But I just want to get that off my chest because you know, it kind of turns me off a little bit with the franchise moving forward with this. Like I said, they just making like Yu-Gi-Oh into a parody of itself. Because like Joey and Tristan does their fair share of goofy stuff, but that's the comic relief. Even Joey doesn't do it. Even they don't do it all the time. Neither Tristan nor Joey don't do it all the time. But when you count on a certain comic release, you know, you know, you can always count on them to like have some levity. Even like Yugi, you know, every once in a while have his bit of comedic moments, but it was tamed. Now they getting Looney Tune-ish with Zexal, and once we get to Arc 5, you'll see that again. But it's just like, you know, it's like, you know, they need to like, they really need to scale it back. I never was a fan of how they, you know, was doing the franchise moving forward. But anyway, I just thought I'd get that off my chest. So now we got, we're in further in the future, and now we got a new protagonist named Yuma Tsukumo, who, well, I'm about to say, unlike the other previous protagonists, he's not like a very, you know, from what we know and from the pilot, he wasn't that very good at dueling. He loves dueling, but he wasn't that good at it because he doesn't utilize strategy all that well. And he constantly getting beat by even like the best friend character, Bronk. He gets, who I don't even like to even look at that character. He's annoying. Like, you know, it's like, out of all the best friend characters in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, I honestly say Bronk was the worst. Hell, even like Cyrus, you know, had better merits than this dude. Even though he became like a little like, you know, timid, there was a progression with that character. And Bronk is just no redeeming qualities. His dual deck is just bunk. Hell, like even Joey had his progression with his dueling deck to the point where it's like, peak performance by the end of the series, where you can pretty much hang with almost anybody. Cyrus had like, the Viacroid deck, and it's like not many people really F with it, but there was some charm to it. And it's just goofy vehicles with faces on them, but he's doing something with it, and he actually can put like a decent battle. Then eventually he incorporated his brother Cyber and Dragon deck. Crow Hogan, Blackwing Dragon deck is honestly my favorite. Like, I love the Blackwing Dragon deck. I really want that deck in real life because I love the Blackwings. I play that a lot when I play Master Duel. But Bronx, I don't even know what the freak is. This like toys or something like that. You got this like toy, those old school toys, like a bear or something like that, and you got these little musical brass things that go psh, 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 the wind up toy things, and it's like, what is this? Oh, like, oh my god. But anyway, Yuma Tsukumo lives with his older sister and his grandmother. His parents are missing, and it's kind of typical with a lot of these like protagonists. They really don't have their like the actual parents around. You only see like like a grandparent or something like that. And it's kind of like cliche at this point. I think like Yuya from Mark 5 is probably like the only exception. Like I said, I haven't seen Reigns. I'm not sure what his family like family is like, but so far Arc 5 has like legit his father around. Only he shows up. I know he shows up later, but it's the only person I know that actually got at least a legit parent in the mix. But anyway, so Yuma goes to school. He's challenges everybody who wants to duel. And honestly, I know the holographic system when displaying dual monsters, there's a cool progression, and technically it gets better in Arc 5, and I'm assuming it Reigns even better than that. But my personal opinion, I think Zexal probably has like the peak holographic dueling system in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. Why I say that? Because even though I would have given it to Arc 5, I'm not a fan of this action, dueling, grabbing cards, parkouring all over the place to grab some action cards to dodge or negate something. And it's like, you're trying to add something. I'm going to mention this when I eventually get to Arc 5 down the line, but it's like, you're trying to add some kind of new gimmick just to be like a standout. And it's like, I'm not sure how many people are a fan of the action duel holographic system. I'm not, but I think like I definitely feel like Zexal's holographic system is top notch. I really enjoy it. And of course, Reigns, I know that's when they do those speed duels and they're only using like 3 monster card zones on the field and only like 4 or 5 cards in a hand at a time. And it's like, God, I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of that. So that's why I gotta give it to Zexal, in my personal opinion. Anyway, and here's like it's kind of like a nitpick. It's not really a problem, but Zexal, and you'll see this in progressing into like the 2nd and 3rd season, it's overcrowded with characters. There's like a central focus. I mean, like, I guess you can argue GX did it as well, but I think they knew who to focus on and who to eventually cut out in later seasons to make room for other characters. And some are just regulated to like just 1, 2, 3 episodes at a time. You might see them here and there, but you barely have people to focus on, because like in Duel Monsters, you got Yugi, Joey, Taya, Tristan, Bakura, and of course you got like Kaiba and Mokuba. Those are your primary focus to follow. It is like a decent handful, and then of course you got your villains and the henchmen, but they're only gonna probably stick around for that 1 season, so you don't really need to worry about that much overcrowding. Same thing with GX. Even though they have like a decent batch of people, you're focused primarily on certain new characters: Cyrus, Chumley, Jaden, and Bastion, Alexis. Even though Alexis has her 2 little friends, we're not really focused on them. They pop up here and there, but Alexis eventually fell into the group with Jaden. Then of course you got Chaz, Zane, and then of course you got the teachers. But those kids are the primary focus. And even with the teachers, you got Chancellor Separate and Crowler. And of course you got Professor Banner. And then you got the cafeteria teacher. But even the cafeteria lady only pops up here and there. She's not constant. And then later seasons when you introduce Bonaparte and his son, you know, they only show up in that one season. They're not taking away the primary focus. They're not palling around all that much with the main group. You know, five. I mean, you know, like 5Ds. You get the picture. It's like Jack, you say Crow, and like I mentioned in my review of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D season 1 through 4, the Yusei's best friends in the satellite from the season 1. After that, you barely see them anymore. They hardly show up until like the last season at the tail end when things are wrapping up. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta, take out like these minor characters that ain't gonna serve as much in the overall narrative to make room for people who's not only you're definitely gonna feel something for, but also gonna be dueling. Because hell, even Tristan, who knows how to duel, but isn't like an avid duelist like Joey or Yugi. But even like Duke Devlin isn't always around every season, but when he pops up, it means something because we have some time to get to know this person and he offers something. Even though he's kind of like perving on Joey's sister. But it's like Zexal, you get so many people. It's like, and most of them don't duel. I know Braun duels, but his deck is freaking trash. But he only duels at least like a handful of times throughout the 3 seasons. At least maybe 4 at the most, I think. Because I think he dueled twice in this season. But yeah, like and then don't get me started on the Yuya's little love interest. I forgot her name, but she's just basically Yuya's little, not Yuya, Yuma's little cheerleader. Yuma, drives me freaking crazy. This one, shut up, just shut up, just do something. Hell, I mentioned this in my review on Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, which, by the way, check out my other Yu-Gi-Oh! Seasons reviews. Taya dueled 3 times. Each of these times, she won. One was a surrender. The other, she dueled in the pilot against Joey, who didn't know any better about the card game yet. Beat him. Duel against Mai and Duelist Kingdom, she surrendered. And then the only legit duel she did was against Crump in the virtual world. So all 3 times she won them all. Call freaking cap on how great of a duelist she is. Technically, she did win, but at least she knows at least the fundamentals. Not on an expert level like someone like Yugi or Kaiba, but this little girl here, and Alexis is probably like the best one. Alexis and what's her name? Black Rose. They probably like honestly and My Valentine. Honestly, those 3 are like female in the top females in Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise can legit fucking duel. And of course, there's a character in that's connected to Zuzu Boyle that uses fusion monsters in a different in the fusion world thing. I'll get to that. She can legit duel, and from what I've heard from Brains is like there are at least a couple of legit female duels there. So this little girl in Zexal sucks. And of course, there are other good female duelists in Zexal. There's Dextra, uh and we haven't gotten to that point, but Shark has a sister. She's a legit duelist. So there's a couple of ones, but this love interest for Yuma, God, she is just annoying. She sucks. Oh my God. But anyway, Yuma meets up with this otherworldly being named Astral, who, of course, every main character has some kind of charm or special thing in order to be, have some kind of anime type of power up. He has this little medallion, this triangle shaped medallion, which is just like a discount version of the Millennium Puzzle, that housed this spirit named Astral, who has no memory of his past. And the whole main crux of the franchise is gather all these number cards, number cards of the Xyz, type of summons in the franchise that became popular, where you got with synchro summoning, you got tuner monsters. You tune with a normal monster and you add the levels together to special summon a special type of monster called a synchro monster. So a level 3 tuner monster, and combined with just like a regular level 4 monster, you get a synchro summon of a level 7 monster. Xyz monsters is a little bit different. They don't have levels, they have ranks. So you get 2 level 4 monsters. You can make the overlay network combine, you put them on top of each other, so you can special summon and level a rank 4. 2 rank 4s make 1 rank 4 Xyz monster. And of course, Yuma has his own ace monster named Utopia, number 39 Utopia, who was a special ability, because the 2 monsters you use to overlay to summon these type of monsters are put at the bottom of the Xyz monster summon. Reason being because they will be known as overlay units. So when you want to activate Xyz monster's ability, you take away one of the cards, throw it in a discard pile, so you can activate their special ability. Like Utopia, in his case, he has the ability to stop attacks, even his own, by removing 1 overlay unit. So once the overlay units are gone, then more often than not, their abilities are pretty much done. You can't do anything more with them. And of course, there's other ways to circumvent that, like certain cards that can grab certain other cards. Like they play a magic card and say, like, oh, if I have an Xyz monster on the field with no overlay units, I can use this magic card to put it underneath that card and make it an overlay unit, so have another overlay unit for me to use another ability. That kind of thing. So Yuma at first was just annoyed by Astro, and he's the only person who could see it. Eventually other people will begin to see Astro too as the series go on, but Yuma is annoyed with Astro. Over time he becomes attached with him, but somehow this otherworldly being knows how to duel, and Yuma's not taking this guy's advice, even though he knows better. But over time you become to learn that even though Astro has a fair bit of good knowledge about how to duel, more so than Yuma at first, they have fundamental differences on how to go about it, where Yuma, think of it this way, kind of like to go all out, while Astro plays a little bit more defensively, but they complement each other when they're working together. So they begin their mission in order to reclaim Astro's memories, so he knows what happened to him in his own world and how to get back. At the same time, there are other number hunters like Kite Tenjo, an awesome character, honestly. Like, honestly, he's probably my favorite character in the entire Zexal franchise. Honestly, and I've been playing Galaxy Eyes deck recently on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and you know, if you build those cards right, man, that Galaxy Eyes deck can be freaking devastating, especially against another deck utilizing Xyz monsters. Because you get this Galaxy Eyes dragon. He's pretty much like the Seto Kaiba of this, even down to the fact that he has a little brother that he loves. He has his ace monster, Galaxy Eyes Dragon, with the special ability, if he attacks, he removes himself along with the Xyz monsters from play, and then by the end of the turn they come back, but without that Xyz monster comes back without its overlay units immediately. And whatever amount of overlay units it has, like I say, is like 2 of them. Galaxy Eyes Dragon gets 500 attack points per Xyz unit that monster had. So if he had 2, then Galaxy Eyes Dragon has 1,000 extra attack points on top of the 3,000 he already had. And then of course this monster can exceed into a bigger Galaxy Eyes type of dragon, each one more devastating than the next. It's freaking phenomenal. I freaking love this deck. So Kite is on a mission to save his little brother because he is being taken care of by this guy named Dr. Faker, who you'll later know to be, Kite and Heart, the little brother, father. And Heart has this, unique ability where he can go through to the variant world. And Faker has this plan to destroy Astral World for reasons unrevealed just yet, but it will in the next season. And we also got another villain on top of that named Vectrix, this seemingly little kid wearing this iron mask that plan on utilizing Heart's power for his own schemes. And he has these 3 sons. Yes, like I said, he's seemingly a child, but he was turned into a child for reasons we'll get into in the next season. So he has Quattro, Quentin, and Trey. Each one has their own unique dueling strategy. But honestly, I like Quattro's deck a little bit more because he got these weird puppet-like dueling deck, and it's freaking devastating. I like Trey's too, but in real life, there's a fair amount of support cards to his like Chronomaly type of artifact deck, but not enough to make a significant impact where you can actually compete fairly with. But now it's kind of like a race, and you're trying to between Kite and all these different number hunters, including Kite, in order to get these cards. And even to the point when eventually Dr. Faker has this Heartland guy start up this tournament in order to get all these duelists with possible number cards into one central location so they can start collecting them. So everybody's like, it's just like, rat race. Everybody's trying to collect all the numbers that they can, because there's like at least 100 of them, and Astro collected like at least a dozen, including one number 69, haha, Dark Mist, who turns out to be Astro's dark half. This is when like Bronx shows his dueling skills and with the help of Yuma, beat this dark half in order to reclaim Astro, which is like I said, I don't like Bronx. So there's an added villain, and it's not like I dislike you know, extra villains, but it's just in the previous you know, 3 franchise, each season has their own unique villain to focus on. Can you imagine GX that in season 1 not only you got the Shadow Riders, but you also got the Society of Light, and on top of that, Bell. All I know it's been 49 episodes in this one season, so they could afford it, but it's just like we need to focus on one villain at a time in their henchmen. It's like I said, it's overcrowded in this franchise, this Zexal franchise. One of my favorite duels, honestly, is between this guy who has this number lucky 7 that gives him all this good luck, and Yuma has to overcome this guy by beating him on sheer will against this guy who has just supernatural luck. And honestly, it's my favorite duel out of the entire season, this entire season, next to Astro dueling against Kite. And this is where we get to see the Zexal morph between Kite and Yuma and Astro, where they get the little special little boost. Every main character has that kind of thing. But I love also the episode where Yuma first went up against Kite and would have lost, not only because every time Yuma loses life points, Astro loses pieces of himself. He starts to fade away, and if Yuma, since he's connected to Yuma, if Yuma loses the duel, which is like weird to think that I guess someone has connected to his life force, and when they duel, life points equates to that still, and it's like, why it need to be? But it's just trying to add some extra drama to it. So anytime Yuma loses life points, Astro starts fading away little by little, and Yuma loses, Astro fades away forever. So it behooves Yuma to actually work with Astro in order to win their duels. But when they first duel Kite, not only Kite did not lose not a single life point against Yuma in their first duel, but if it wasn't for Kite having to abort the duel because his little brother had collapsed and he had to run to go back to him, not only Yuma would have lost the duel, but he would have had his number card taken away. And this puts Yuma in kind of like a depressed state, and it's kind of important for the main characters to have those kind of moments in their respective franchise where it's like one duelist, because like even Yugi, one of the greatest duelists out of the entire franchise in my opinion, had that moment with Raphael, who legit, because I watched TGS anime, who goes over like Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Freaking love his channel. Like it's one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, and he goes over like the duels of certain characters, and he went over it was like at least a couple of years ago when he went over the duel between Yugi and Raphael, like the breakdown of it. And sure, there's certain moments that a certain player could make that would have made better sense in real life, but the way it played out, no matter which way you turn it in realistic terms, Yugi, no matter how it played out, realistic or by story or narratively, he legit lost. He will have lost, no matter what had been, the cards at hand, no matter the shenanigans, whether it was there or not. Yugi legit would have lost, fair and square. And Yuma here in this situation, fair and square lost. You say fair and square lost against Colin when he came back. Jaden against Zane for the first time. Even though he didn't get all mopey, but he had his little mopey moments too. But he legit lost, and it's like they all, not even the best of them were perfect. And like that's what life teaches you. Sometimes you gotta take an L. You cannot avoid it. It's just what you do with yourself and what you learn from it is what matters. And that's what they all had to learn, especially Yuma here. And his grandma sent him to this little dojo guy who, you know, had these statues of these classic ace card monsters like Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Dark Magician Girl, Flame Wingman, Neos. And it's cool to see these cards you show up every once in a while in each of these franchises to know where they all come from. It'd be kind of nice to see Stardust Dragon and Red Dragon Archfiend too, just to recall, like, you know, what came before, you know, just to honor those prior franchises. And each new franchise should do the exact same thing. Like, you know, Arc 5 should show you know, Galaxy Eyes Dragon, and well, I think technically would have done so, but you know what I mean. You know, like you see like a Dark Magician pop up, you know, and Blue Eyes. So that's, you know, you have to learn to, like, you know, take that as, that loss as a learning moment and get better. Uh so now there's a tournament. They gotta collect these heart pieces to collect this, you know, to put all together to make this heart. It's not too dissimilar to the what's your jig? Battle City with the like locator cards, heart pieces. You collect them all together, then you become one of the finalists. Oh, I forgot about another like goofy character. This little girl who pines after Yuma. There's a couple of girls that pine after Yuma for some odd freaking reason. Ain't y'all like 12 years old or something? But this is girl, this girl with these cat ear mask thing that commands all these cats. That's what I'm talking about. These weirdly designed, overly gimmicky characters. I was like, sure, like, you know, like Weevil Underwood and Brexter Actor clearly has a gimmick, and they play with like an insect deck and a dinosaur deck. But you can actually make a legit good dinosaur and insect deck. There's beast cards that's cat themed, but not many you can actually make a legit like a theme deck out of. You can make even like with the unicorn Team Unicorn from 5Ds, you can actually make at least a decent deck, beast deck, but with the headliners being the unicorns. You can't do much with these cat themed decks, and it's just like you're going way too far into the goofiness side of the what makes this franchise fun. There's some level of balance to it. And everything looks too bright and colorful, honestly. I think like it's like there's some bit of normalcy. It's like, because Heartland City looks like a gigantic carnival if you look at it in a particular way. Sure, it's bright and colorful, that's fun, but it's like I can't help but think, why does this whole place look like just one giant carnival? And it's like, give us some normal looking buildings, because everything looks just, you just like drew something together and call it a building. And it's like you ask like a 5-year-old to draw a city on paper and just give you random stuff. It's like, oh, God, I do not, you know, there's like I said, it's a nitpick, but something I noticed. It's like there's no normal looking buildings except for people's houses. Weird architectural structures, honestly. But what else? what else I gotta say for this season, man? Um, yeah, I mean, like this, most of the supporting characters are fun. Uh, you almost lost uh Astro against the duel against Trey when he took on this power given to him by Vectrix, and for a short while lost a bit of himself while trying to please his father, uh, who at this juncture just using his kids in order to achieve his own goals. Very Palpatine kind of character. Uh, but thanks to Yuma, he pulled him from the brink. And then some ghostly spirit of Yuma's father kind of give when Yuma is like losing a bit of himself and memories and stuff like that. The father kind of give him that boost, some spirit inside, because inside that medallion is actually this big mechanism that Astro, lives inside to try to, twist and unlock a memory. Um, and also there was these like big doors. And this, is actual like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh card, it's a trap card. I forgot what it's called, but Yuma unlocks that to gain power. It will soon unfold in the later seasons of what that turns into. But there will be some trials and tribulations for Yuma. We'll get into that in season 2. But yeah, I mean, I have fun. I like Zexal enough. It's just the nitpicks that I pointed out. I kind of wish they toned down the corniness of it, the parody stuff, because it's a parody. It's like nobody in the other. Sure, you got like Lazar, but his hair from Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, not as sure as goofy looking, but not too outrageous to not buy. Anybody might have hairstyles like that. It just, there's certain things you just kind of wish they went back to the drawing board of. It's like, I don't know, but it's still a fun franchise. And like I said, like the holographic systems, is dynamite. I like Yuma well enough. He's not my moving forward until we get the Reigns, because I don't know anything about the main character in that. But Yuma and Yuya are really not my favorite characters. I like their decks. I want to say I don't hate them, but I don't love them. I love Yugi. I love Jaden. I love Yusei. There's something about them, that's like they even Jaden had these little goofy moments, but he grew up. You see him grow up a bit, mature, but then become cynical, but then has to relearn how to enjoy the love of the game again. And Yuma, Yugi and Tim has like a good balance between their goofiness and know when to play it serious and play the serious moments. And Yusei is mostly all business, but he still when there's downtime and nothing's crazy at stake, he enjoys he's smiling, he's enjoying his time with his friends. But this is you see like mostly Yuma's antics is all goofiness, and I just can't like it's almost like Looney Tune-ish antics. Anyway, that's my thoughts on season 1 of Zexal. Moving forward, there'll be some Halloween themed like reviews coming forward in for the month of October. My next TV show review will be season 1 of Netflix's show Wednesday. I'd already seen it, when it came out, but I wanted to hold off on reviewing it until the Halloween season, coming up this year. So those will be my thoughts. I already did my review on the 2 Addams Family films last year, so you can check that out on the YouTube channel. But then my next comic book review is going to be a Halloween theme. It'll be DC Hellblazer Lucifer. So look forward to that next Thursday. Both of those next Thursday. And also, well, I'll leave the movie review as a surprise. But it's a classic. But yeah, I will see you guys a little bit. Well, about time to pop in because I wanted to stream uh some games. Um, oh, I had a long day. I only had to work. I had to go stop and get my hair redone. It's all done up now. But uh by the time I started doing this, I really needed get this done and posted. But because I wanted to do it yesterday, but I'm just like, I just want to just chill. So, but I won't be streaming Saturday, but I might be streaming Saturday afternoon and Monday back to back, so I can start up doing some stuff. Playing a little bit of Guilty Gear. Since I'm done with the story mode, I can try to learn some characters and play a little bit on online matches, and check out some of the collectibles and stuff for MK1, and learn a character and play online mode with that. I need to get back to like Street Fighter 6 and probably learn a bit of Cammy there. So those will be the plan. So anyway, I will see you guys later. This will be posted on YouTube pretty soon, but I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Have a great night. Take care. Be well.